Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well today. We have landed on Anubarak in our A through Z playthrough. First of all, I want to apologize for kind of the break in episodes. I did a marathon stream throughout all of July, and then I was exhausted after that. Then I ended up getting sick. Just went and saw my doctor, got some medicine, back on the up and up, and we could start production again. Anubarak was added into the game on October 7th, 2014. Wow, what an old man over here. On a totally anecdotal note again, and I know this is totally my bias, I think Anubarak has some of the best skins in the game. He's got a really cool looking, just normal model. Then they gave him the Ultralisk, the best unit in StarCraft as one. He has a love bug for his side romance that he had going on with Zagara. Anyone remember that subplot? And of course, the Cyber Oni Anubarak just looks so sick, so intimidating. And for any old school WoW players, I guess Wrath of the Lich King, is that old school? I remember going up face to face with this guy here in the Trial of the Grand Crusader. Good memories, dude. They did a good job capturing this character in this game. His last rework was March 14th, 2017, which we actually covered in the last A through Z playthrough that we did. He has not gotten a rework since then, although his builds since then have changed pretty drastically, which I, of course, find pretty interesting. His most recent patch was November 4th, 2020. He's currently sitting at a 52.19% win rate, actually the highest win rate out of all of the tanks in the game right now, and he has a 21.85 popularity. So even though his win rate's pretty high, his popularity is just kind of the middle of the road. Anubarak is a character that I used to grind in ranked mode. Back when you would go from rank 50 to rank 1, I was pushing rank 1 with Anubarak. There's a lot of history here. While we're loading into this game, I thought it'd be fun to talk about armor values. Man, that's so exciting. I'm so glad I'm taking your time up with that. So back in the day, there was an issue with damage just kind of scaling out of control. Characters like Li Ming, Hanzo, Genji, Tracer, just blowing up everything in the world. So the Blizzard developers, and I got to give them credit, I like that they tried some weird stuff throughout the development of this game. They decided the best ways to make tanks feel tankier was to give them all some passive baseline mitigation. Most characters received armor, but Anubarak was kind of specified as the mage tank. And in a lot of ways, that makes sense. We're spawning a lot of beetles whenever we perform an action. That can break a lot of skill shots. And they gave him, I think it was like 25% passive spell armor. That was just on all of the time. And that was his thing. He became the spell mitigating warrior. However, that's been removed from the game, but you still see traces of that inside Anubarak's kit. For instance, whenever I pop my W ability and put this shield on myself, that gives us 40% spell armor. Because we used to be the spell armor tank. Fantastic engage from our Kira here, taking down the enemy team's Taranda. Whisper under... Genji engaging on the back line here, jumping over the wall, is going to be chased down by our Orphea at this point. I really like our team. Our team can be really aggressive. I think this is going to be a fun match. I do really like to go for the Regen Master baseline quest. Anubarak, especially at this level, has extremely low health regen. I'm talking about at level 1, he has 4 a second. So while there can someone soak back, I need to farm out clothes. Cool. Easy peasy. So, with the Legion of Beetles, we're going to periodically spawn beetles out of our character. This talent will become better throughout the course of the game. We're going for a beetle build in this particular match. More on that in a little bit. But I think that Legion of Beetles is good with our current setup. However, I personally really like the extra healing of Regen Master for when I'm just traveling around the map. So I think the additional beetle will give you more damage and potentially more healing later in the game. more burst healing later in the game. But I think Regen Master provides more healing over the course of an entire match, if that makes sense. Our Ariel trying to run away from the damage of this enemy team. We're going to stun Stitches here, try to body block him a little bit too, but Orphea chasing after Genji, and it looks like she's not going to be able to connect. Which is, I mean, okay, she was still trying. It's no big deal. Stitches with the hook is going to pull Orphea back into danger for a brief moment. I'm going to focus on getting this Regen Globe for her, and of course, for myself too. We're at 8 out of 30 right now. 30 is a lot of Regen Globes to gather. A lot of quests in the game that require Regen Globes have gotten that amount nerfed quite considerably. However, we're still benefiting with each globe that we pick up. Once we finish off the quest, we are going to get an extra 500 HP, which is a pretty decent amount of HP on Anubarak with the amount of active mitigation that he has. He can really mitigate quite a lot. I'm going to try for this really fast. Our damage in the early game is terrible. Bed of Barbs is going to be our best damage. Whenever we cast an ability, these beetles spawn, and they certainly help too, but that's going to be more damage in the later half of the game. Looks like our team is cleaning up pretty well. Going for a turn-in of coins right now. I'm continuing to soak globes, though, because that's really important for my character's progression with our build. So, the Anubarak playstyle has kind of shifted all over the place in the game's history. When he was initially added into the game, he was very, very focused on spawning beetles. Beetles were the cornerstone of his playstyle. And it's kind of funny because it's more or less cycled back to that all these years later. He has had a really good W build and still does. When they gave him his rework, they gave him a really interesting just shield spam playstyle that I know a lot of people are still really fond of. Let's see if we can head up to the top lane and help secure this kill. Our E ability is a straight line dive. We choose when we erupt out of the ground and deal damage to our enemies. Fun fact, by the way, Epicenter, where's Epicenter? Level 16 used to have a 4-second cooldown reduction for every enemy that you hit. Can you believe that? So you'd be able to go in with Epicenter, erupt from the ground, get 4 seconds of CDR for each person that you came into contact with, and then probably be able to dive again. Needless to say, they wrangled that one back a little bit with it only giving 1 second CDR per person now. I want that globe. I want this globe. I'm going to take it. Seems like our team's doing really, really well. Stitches with the flank here. We're actually going to see Genji pushed into the wall. I'm going to stun him again. And then as he tries to run away, the bed of barbs are going to stop him in his tracks. So general advice for playing Anubarak, pretty much always be pressing W. You always want to be spawning beetles. Beetles are the cornerstone of what we're going for today. I'm going to go down here rather than up to the top. We're missing out on a few coins here. Stitches is trying to get away with some of our goods, but we're going to try to body block him here. Anubarak has such a large hitbox that he's able to body block incredibly well. Unfortunately for us, the enemy team is going to cut back on our Ariel. I'll just grab these globes and be on my way. Unfortunately, I spammed a little bit too much of my abilities. Ran out of mana a little bit too much there, but our sip is up. As we approach level 10, I'm just going to warn you, I'm going to go for Locust Swarm because I think people sleep on Locust Swarm. When Locust Swarm was added to the game, it did 10 healing plus 1.5 per level. So what is that, 35 healing baseline? It's still close to that. Okay, it still does that. But more importantly, at Hive Master at level 20, used to do 37 healing. It's already doing 118 baseline, and we're not even at level 20 yet. That's going to continue to get better. I should probably pick my ultimate here. That's only going to continue to get better as we go. So the Locust Swarm is active right now. That means every bug that's going around my character is also healing. And it can add for some fantastic playmaking potential on Anubarak, where you just go into an engagement, and even if your HP is low, you're able to out-heal a lot of the stuff that's going on around you. Remember, if you save your shield for when you engage, that shield is not only protecting you, but reducing spell damage as well. So you're healing up with spell damage reduction and a shield. It's actually a crazy amount of active mitigation. I will say, it feels like this cooldown is a little on the long side right now. I think if I was going to change anything about Anubarak, I would just make that more readily available because the duration doesn't actually last that long. What you're doing is basically engaging in a team fight and giving yourself the equivalent of a self-cast Brightwing heal teleport. You know what I'm talking about? It's not incredible or anything, but it could definitely save your life. But the fact that you get to do it yourself is I guess why it's so powerful. You don't have to worry about your team coordinating with you a little bit. Stitches trying to engage from the back line, using the Putrid Bile as well. However, I put my butt where his butt needed to go. Body blocked him right in that corner. The team actually complementing that super well as they surrounded around him. Tyrande taking a lot of damage here. Genji totally disengaging. And now we see Zagara pushing the top lane pretty hard. Looks like that might be the first. Well, the team's going to deal with that. Fuck that. I'll stay down here. I'll keep getting XP. We don't need to do a 5-man rotation to stop one space bug, you know what I mean? Let's keep our macro up as much as we can. A little low on mana here. Burning Rage is a generic talent that a lot of tanks in the game have. However, Anubarak has a fantastic version of Burning Rage now. I believe... Hey, that's kind of rude. Get out of here. I almost felt that a little bit. I'm actually going to turn and kill Murky here. We're going to grab these 2 coins. Stitch is engaging, doesn't grab me, instead grabs one of my scarabs, so I'm able to disengage pretty easily here. Our shield came off cooldown, mitigating almost all of the damage from Genji's ultimate. Yep, it's just playing Anubarak, you know? That's what you sign up for when you're playing Anubarak. I don't want anyone to get this twisted. I'll explain Burning Rage in just a second. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place with my commentary today. I mean, how's that different from any other day? Cocoon is really good, okay? I'm not saying don't pick Cocoon. What I am saying is that I wanted to show off Locust Swarm. I think it's exciting. I think it's a fun ability. I don't think it's taken enough. Cocoon allows you to pretty much crowd control anyone on demand. You put them in a cocoon, the enemy team can actually attack it to break them out a little bit faster, but you're still removing one potentially important member of the enemy team at will. So let's say we have someone low on health and we see Tyrande. We can just put Tyrande inside of a cocoon and all of a sudden no one around her is going to be getting any healing. I'm actually not super thrilled about this engagement here. Trying my best to peel for our Ariel, trying to keep her safe. We do actually have the crown on us. I got it. 15 seconds on Locust Swarm, so sitting in here perfectly safe inside stasis actually isn't the end of the world. Genji gonna jump over the wall as we are approaching. All right, so why is burning beetles cool? Well, instead of all the damage radiating from Anubarak, it also radiates from every single beetle that we spawn. It's not a ton of damage. I think on average they do 10 per beetle. But when you consider that you can spawn beetles passively, then all of a sudden you can have 4 beetles on command. That's 40 radiation damage. You know, just passive damage around the beetle, as well as what is dealing for auto attacks, as well as what you're doing for auto attacks. It's actually a lot of extra damage that you could throw out. Like, look here, our clear speed for this is actually pretty good. Now, keep in mind, this is like the fastest camp in the game. However, by going all in like that with all of our abilities, we're really investing a lot of mana into that situation. However, if you have a team that you can trade pretty well against, let's say one with a big old health ball of stitches, we can then combo Beetle Juiced, which spawns beetles every time we auto attack. Or is every few auto attacks? Every 4th auto attack spawns a beetle. Look at that. Just out of nowhere. So we can actually ramp up our damage quite a bit. And remember, each of these beetles is also healing us as well. When this Burning Rage change came in and Burning Beetles was added, that kind of cemented the playstyle shift away from the auto attack Anubarak that we showed off in the previous A through Z. Kind of a fun fact. It wasn't like a big rework. It was just, hey, this talent's really good now. And people started picking it. Zagara being taken down for the enemy team. Stitches is next in my crosshairs. We haven't even needed to use our ultimate ability yet. Oh, is going to be able to run away. Unfortunate. We have 12 coins right now. That's an easy turn in for us. Let's head down to the center of the map and try to get that done. Our Region Globe quest is completed. That means we have an additional 500 health. If you wanted to become even tankier at level 20, you can do the Trader King, gain 10% bonus to our max health and 20 passive spell armor. So again, that spell armor theme coming back into play for Anubarak. I think that's really fun. But of course, I'm going to be taking the upgrade to Hive Master. I just used all my abilities to try to spawn some beetles there to hopefully scare him away a little bit faster. It looks like Ariel is able to pick up those coins, no problem. Murky taken down in the bottom lane as well. Have I talked about Epicenter yet? Epicenter used to be one of the main combos for Anubarak, just because it hits such a wide area, right? Yeah, increases the impact area by 60%. Did you know Epicenter used to give 4 seconds of cooldown reduction? Now it gives 1 per target that you hit. It used to be 4 per target that you hit. That has been nerfed into the ground over the years, but probably for good reason. Yet another reason that I think Beetle build is kind of cementing itself as the main play style. We have 11 coins to turn in right now. The enemy team kind of running out of buildings to defend at this point. They're also not really showing on the map in too many locations either. I mean, we see Orphea in the middle lane. She's, you know, fighting Genji, but is anything really going to come of that? Hard to say. We do get hooked by Stitches, but of course we can disengage with our E ability, no problem. We also have our Locust Swarm ready to go. Can't follow up too much with this, unfortunately, and the Maul's going to stop us as well. Hopefully, Thrall starts to fall back. Orphea using this opportunity to set up some big damage here. I'm going to go ahead and pop the Locust Swarm, healing from everyone around me. I mean, that was actually pretty decent sustain. We probably do reflect a lot of damage back off of the... Come on, Genji, come get it. Off of the Genji deflect. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. And of course, our passive HP right now, passive regen, gonna heal us back up pretty fast without us having to even get back into the thick of things. A couple enemy members taken down there. It also looks like they snuck in a turn-in at some point. I did not even notice that. Looks like that push was kind of for naught with our friendly team right now. Didn't get too much done. Our ability to clear camps is pretty poor, but I can at least start it and try to do something here. Get this pushing the bottom of the map while they're looking middle. However, the more time that goes on, the more likely this enemy team's going to be looking at me. Hive Master gives us a permanent lifesteal, so this little bug's going to go around us all the time. And I cannot stress how much the healing of this has been increased over the course of his lifespan. If you've never taken it before because you played back in the day and it was bad, try to put that bias behind you. Actually, I highly recommend checking your biases very often in your life, because, you know, things change, situations change, you change, maybe you feel differently about something. Give it a go. With our beetles, we're actually really effective at bursting down those treasure chests. Spikes can go out in 1 second. I definitely want to focus Tyrande. We're going to follow up with the Sunder and the flash from Thrall. Beautiful play. I'm going to pop my Locust now and continue to fight here. I'm actually pretty safe if he decides to stay. Or look at this healing. My health hasn't even moved. Imagine if Thrall continued to fight with me. Imagine what position we... I mean, I just saw his health, so, you know, whatever. We can let him go. Okay, you know, maybe I shouldn't have called out Thrall for anything there. Maybe that was all me. We're going to jump over the gap and head for the turn-in as fast as we can. We saw the enemy team running away down there. If I get my 9 in, they lose their top building, and it looks like that is going to be the case. Mana a little low here. Let's see if I can head back to the base for a little bit of mana. Now, I'm not a huge fan of boss on this match, but it seems like we're having a hard time actually closing this game out. It feels as though we've been ahead the entire time, but we haven't been able to kill the important building yet. The enemy team is hitting level 20 now as well, which is, of course, a big power spike for them. They're going to be looking for a fight at this point. I think we're a little too lax with our positioning at the moment, knowing that's coming up as well. I think we could gather up a little bit. 30 seconds on my ult, and it looks like mine's the only one that's on cooldown. Thrall's, been taken down as well. Might be. See, this is a great example where if I had Cocoon, that would have been a kill there. And there's nothing that Tyrande could have done about it. I could have just clicked on her with Cocoon, literally walked up to her, waited for the Cocoon to end, and hit her with all of my CC. And that would have been the end of it. Looks like Stitches pulling our Ariel out of the damage of the pufferfish. Stitch is also taking a shit ton of damage as well. Unfortunately, Ariel does fall, and she is not running Resurrect. See if we can catch up to the Zagara here. We can, no problem. We need another 8 coins if we can. My Burning Rage, my Burning Beetles does kill off her creep pretty easily. Doesn't have Nidus networks around the map, so creep's not as big of a deal. Oh, we need a little... Man, we need a lot of coins. I feel like every time we get some momentum here, all of that just kind of go... Hey, what's up? I'm gonna pop Locust Swarm. We'll just see how this one goes. Yeah, you fucked up. You fucked... Thank you. I was gonna get hit by that bombard. That would have been really shitty. We still have passive health steal here. Oh, fuck. Almost able to get out, unfortunately. Just hand-delivered 9 coins. Brought them a lot of coins. My bad. I just feel like we're not doing anything. We're kind of just letting them farm. I mean, they're probably going to try to turn in now. Maybe Thrall can get bottom. Murky's on that. We're just kind of delaying the game. We're kind of playing into what they want when they have 2 macro heroes like this. Did you know, by the way, that our E ability, Burrow Charge, not only did Epicenter give you such huge cooldown reduction, but it got even better than that because our Burrow made us immune to damage while we were underground. So you could just walk up to people, engage super hard. If they shoot a pyroblast at you, you literally just E out and you can't take damage. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, she did it, and she even missed. The hook from Stitches is going to grab our Kira, who's lassoing around the target right now, pushing him back inside of a pufferfish there. We are on the way as Stitches is taken down. These guys do not have a tank. Coins have spawned on the map. I'm actually going to head to the top coins. If they want to keep fighting down there, that is on them. Like I said, we should kill this pretty quickly with the help of our burning beetles, and we do. That's 5 for the home team. We can get 5 more in the bottom lane. We can get a couple more over here. We can actually take down another building. This isn't GG. This is just another building. We can take down another building right now. Let me go try to turn in. We should push it. Kira's back at our base. Maybe sippy cupping. Yeah. All of my abilities off cooldown, ready to go. I do want to talk about Rewind for Anubarak. It's one of the most satisfying talents I think you can get on him. Being able to use all of your abilities again, being able to spawn even more beetles into an area is such a fun combo. Anubarak was one of the original characters where, like, Rewind was really, really good, and that has not changed. And I'm glad that Rewind was not removed for Anubarak, because for a while, it seemed like the developers were on this crusade to remove every generic talent from the game. But some of them are really fun, dude. We're gonna walk up on these guys. Oh, never mind. No, we're not. Inside of the mall. We're gonna Locust Swarm now. Engage on Tyrande as best as I can, although I missed everything on her. We could follow her closely here, and that's gonna be a pickup with our Locust Swarm damage. 60% on the enemy team score. A great Orphea ult to stop Stitches from running away. And that's gonna be GG. The team played really good. I felt like we weren't keeping up the pressure against that enemy team. We were kind of playing into their favor towards the end there, but hey, it all worked out in the end. One thing I want to point out that I think I failed to mention, even though I did get some pretty good body blocks in that game, remember your E is fantastic for repositioning behind enemy heroes. And Anubarak has one of the biggest hitboxes in the game, so that makes body blocking even more of a treat. Again, at level 1, you can go for a Scarab talent, or I like Regen Master, into Bed of Barbs, Leeching Scarabs, Locust Swarm, Burning Beetles, Beetlejuiced, and Hive Master. Again, Cocoon is not bad. You should pick up Cocoon, probably. Also, Rewind, phenomenal. I like that there's multiple ways of increasing Anubarak's health with the Trader King and also with Regen Master. I feel like that's pretty cool. So even if you find yourself in a situation where spell mitigation maybe isn't as important as, you know, other forms of mitigation, being able to pile on a lot of health certainly can help out. That's going to do it for our A through Z episode for Anubarak. Up next, we have Artanis, and a lot has changed on him since we last looked at him.